All right, let's talk some Carson Wentz here. Listen, Wentz has steadily improved. I think week after week after week. You look at his numbers, the past couple of weeks, he had a passer rating of 127.7 last week against Houston, and then the week before a passer rating of 128.5, and even before that 115.1. So 3 straight 115 plus passer rating games. That's very good for Wentz. And I think that, I've liked a lot of what I've seen from Carson Wentz. I thought he was really good against Houston. Now, the obvious question and the obvious caveat is he played against Houston. So how much credit can we really give him for that performance? But I thought he did some stuff really well. So I can't believe I haven't made a Carson Wentz video yet. I kept meaning to, and he kept being like, when I make my videos, I sort of make a list of guys I want to make videos on, and I feel like he's been like the one guy I put on the list but then never got around to every single week. So glad I can finally make one. Let's talk some Carson Wentz. All right, so let's start off with this play. It's going to be zone coverage. It's a cover 2 play, and you have a receiver who's going to get into a gap right there. I mean, this is kind of what the Colts just did against this, Lovie Smith style defense. Is you're going to get some gaps in coverage, and Wentz is not going to have any issues, firing it through that. So watch what happens. Wentz takes the snap. He's going to, immediately look up, and you do see that there is a bubble right here underneath the safety where Wentz can make this throw. And this is where Wentz really thrives. This is why he was really good in Philadelphia, right? You give him sort of these on-script plays where receivers are getting open and you're scheming stuff up. Well, that's where he thrives. When the receivers got a little older and weren't getting as open, well, then that's when Wentz really, fell off. And then his last year in Philadelphia, when no one was getting open, that's when things were, really the worst. Wentz makes this throw, and, they're able to get a completion right there. When there's windows, Wentz is going to fit the ball through the windows. That's kind of what he's been able to do his entire career. He does have some issues. We all know those issues, but you put him in situations like this is where he can certainly thrive. And we then have stuff like this where, there still were a couple of plays where I was in awe of his arm talent, right? His arm talent is still up there with the best in the NFL, and that's why people fell in love with him, in Philadelphia. It wasn't like his great reads or anything. It's simply just his huge cannon of an arm. This is a good example of that, where, again, similar coverage. You're going to see a lot of cover 2 zone. That's what the Texans do. And the way this works is you kind of basically the safety on the bottom half of the screen, so the safety to the offense's left, he's the guy who is going to determine Wentz's decision. If he stays further in, then typically what you're going to do is throw over the top. If he stays over the top, then you throw over the middle. Look at how Wentz takes the snap. He does run this play action, and, as he's getting ready to make this throw, you see how there definitely is an opportunity for him to throw the ball deep down the field. He's currently standing on his own 40-yard line right here, and watch this throw. I mean, look at how he just bombs it down the field. That was 55 yards in the air all the way through. Perfect accuracy. I mean, that kind of stuff is just... That's Phillip Rivers couldn't do that last year, right? This is the upgrade with Carson Wentz. Now, other aspects of the Colts team might not be as good, but Carson Wentz, especially on that play, looking very good. This next play is going to be another similar example. Again, it's that cover 2 zone, and typically when you play cover 2 zone, the whole idea behind it is, well, teams aren't going to be able to throw the ball deep down the field. Well, sometimes those opportunities are still going to present themselves, and I thought the Colts did a good job of taking those opportunities when they were there. Watch, Wentz takes the snap, does run a play action on this play, and you see how wide out the safeties are, right? And this is the advantage of having multiple players run down the field. There's only 2 safeties deep, and you have 5 eligible receivers. So when 2 players kind of, run sort of in between the safeties and the linebackers, this kind of can get the safeties spread out a little bit. You have another receiver running a go route. Again, this is the kind of throw where I don't know if I'd recommend this throw for every quarterback, but for Carson Wentz and the big arm he has, make these throws. As you see, Wentz, again, just an incredible throw. It's going to be perfectly accurate down the field. I mean, that's good stuff right there by Carson Wentz. So the arm talent, absolutely there. We all knew it would be there, but he kind of got to show it off against a not great defense in the Houston Texans. We then have something like this, where what's going to happen is that it's zone coverage, and again, you see a route that's going to get into a gap in coverage. This is kind of what the Indianapolis Colts do, especially against a team like the Texans, where it's pretty easy to scheme this stuff up. Look at how Wentz takes a snap, runs a play action. There is going to be time for him to throw, and, it's not a wide open window right here at all. He does have to get it over the corner, so it's not like this is the easiest degree of difficulty play. But again, he just puts the ball exactly where he was trying to get it there, gets it there quickly as well, especially against zone. Wentz just does a great job because he is really accurate and can, push the ball down the field very well. So stuff like this is certainly very promising, especially a play like that where it wasn't the most open play in the world. And we also have some stuff like this finally, where what's going to happen on this play is, again, very similar. Like, this is what this game was. It was the Colts taking advantage of the Texans defense. You can't fully separate those two things, but sometimes the plays were easier, sometimes the plays were more difficult. As you see, what's going to happen on this play is, this isn't horrible defense by Houston on this one. There's not a huge window, and this is kind of the mindset of like a cover 2 zone defense is we're not going to be able to completely stop you on these schemed up plays, but we're going to make the window somewhat smaller and basically force you to have to fit the ball through that window every single time. And Carson Wentz just did it every single time. I mean, look, again, very accurate. Wentz was accurate pretty much all day. I mean, no one has a completely perfect accuracy day all the way across the board, but he was very accurate, very good stuff. A little bit easy degree of difficulty, but even on the more difficult plays, he was still able to play well. So that's certainly optimistic and makes you feel good about potentially, trading a first-round pick for him. So yeah, I mean, as a whole for the Colts, they had no quarterback, right? Their quarterback retired in Phillip Rivers, and I know people are still going to hang on they didn't try to get Tom Brady. Who knows if he would have gone there if they did try to get him, but them not doing that, that's obviously going to be something that hangs over their head because the quarterback position is so important. However, if you remove that from the equation, they're left with no quarterback, really. They go out and they get, someone like Carson Wentz. They take a flyer on him, and so far, especially when it seems like next year won't be a great quarterback draft, giving up a first-round pick and a third-round pick for Wentz, not looking so bad if he continues to play this well. And if he doesn't, well, then you can, let's say that, after week 10, you're 3-7 or like 4-6. Well, then you can just shut him down for the rest of the season. And now, you're still getting your draft pick and probably, maybe even getting a better draft pick with him not playing. So you still have that option. It's still on the table. And if he's playing well enough to get you into playoff hunt, well, then he's totally worth the draft capital that you gave up. So that's the way I think about it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.